Welcome to Oriole Country and tonight's boys non-conference hockey game between the St. Louis Park Orioles and the Achiever Academy Aces. I'm John Fromm, along with my partner John Basil, excited to bring you tonight's game. Both teams playing on the second night of back-to-backs, John, so it'll be interesting. We don't have a lot of history with this relatively new school, and I'm interested to see what Achiever brings to the table.
Absolutely. You know, the Aces Academy, the girls had a crack at them earlier this year. They're a team that obviously draws regionally and even outside the state, so it'll be a nice challenge for the Orioles tonight. The girls played them hard, lost 5-0, so we'll see how tonight goes for the boys.
Absolutely, and we should mention that if you're not familiar with Achiever Academy, and almost no one in the upper Midwest would be, it's a second-year school that's based out of the Vadnais High Sports Center. It's technically a private school. It's about $13,000-$14,000 a year to go to school there. Primarily a hockey emphasis where they get access to the hockey rink during the day there to practice, and only a school of 80 students. But for the Orioles, both teams played last night, and I wanted to just bring out that the Aces had to take the show on the road in our cold weather last night, John, and they had to go all the way down to Cass and Manorville. But they took Dodge County out 8-2 in an impressive win for them. Corey Sprague, their leading scorer, had a hat trick for them. And also first-line winger Will Mix, one of my favorite names in hockey, Will Mix, with 4 assists. They're centered, by the way, by another one of my favorite names, Dante Zapata. I don't know if we've got some Spanish blood there. But anyway, they had a nice win last night. As we mentioned, they've got 12 wins on the season, unofficially ranked 16th in the new poll that I saw recently online. And for the Orioles, they did play Cooper in a second matchup of the season against the Hawks last night. Trey Rooney lit him up for 3 goals, as is commonplace, the third leading scorer in the state for Cooper. But Bauer Neudecker had a good game, and Connor Clare is going to get another start in net tonight for the Orioles.
Yeah, and you know, I was at last night's game, and the Orioles sure rang a lot of metal. I mean, if they were playing horseshoes, they probably would have won that game, but they they hit a lot of pipes, and you're absolutely right. I mean, Cooper came out inspired, and they had Mr. Rooney certainly was a major force to be reckoned with. But overall, it was an interesting game to watch because the flow just didn't quite go the way the Orioles wanted. And then when they had opportunities, they seemed to just want to ring the dinner bell and not quite get in the net. So we hit a lot of posts, I think in excess of 5.
Was it really?
Yeah, I'm counting right.
Well, and I know earlier in the year, Luca really had some metal in his blood. He was ringing pipes starting the first game of the year. So some changes as well. We should mention before the game gets started, John's got some updates on some changes that have been taking place with the line combinations as well as defensive pairings that Coach Keesley gave us. And let's just walk through that. We have not been on air since the January 3rd telecast, so let's go through some of that, John, if you don't mind.
Yeah, so, you know, and we'll see what he does when the drop of the puck goes, but it looks like he's going to have Kurt Greenbush playing with Teddy Hopman and Bauer Neudecker. He's had Bauer at center with those two on the wings. He's got Nicky Owens followed by Patrick Bordewick, along with Jake Lucasavage. So that's another big line with Jake Lucasavage on the wing, big strong winger working with Patrick and Nicky. And then he's got TJ Holfen, Noah Whitbloom, and Joey Kramer. Again, you got TJ Holfen, who, you know, is lanky. He's got a nice reach, controls the puck well with Noah with some speed in the middle. And you got Joey Kramer, another big winger.
Right, big senior.
You know, so, and of course, back on D, you got Noah Fortmeyer, the senior captain, who always you can rely on, and has got a quick shot release from the point. Charlie Hills, who's steady back there. Casey Plender adds a physical force.
Right.
Sometimes once in a while, we'll see TJ back there, along with Nicky Hames as well. So TJ Rempfer and Nicky Hames. So we'll see how he rotates the lines, but I think in general, that's the line combinations he's going with. But you know how it is. You adapt during a game, so we'll see what the coach does as the game gets going.
Well, good insight, Johnny. Looking forward to calling it. Orioles adorned in their orange jerseys with the black stripes. My favorite jersey combo. I know they've been around for a year. We're going to go to the starting lineups to start things off. And for the Aces, as we mentioned, based out of the Vadnais Heights facility, they're going to lead it off with number 31 in net tonight, Sage Broda, I believe. And Broda, 6 feet, 170 pounds, with a .919 save percentage. He, as well as Cameron Madrid, also got some time in net. Their first line with Corey Sprague, Dante Zapata, and it looks like tonight they're also going with Will Mix on one end, And then their blue liners led by Garrett Martin and Austin Parrish out there. So interesting. The Aces, as we mentioned, only their second year in existence. They did go 15-8-1 last year. And for the Orioles, no stranger in the pipes tonight. He had a night off last night. We should mention Benny Burke got the call in net.
Yep, did a nice job for the Orioles last night.
We're going to see Connor Clares adorned in his orange pads, and we've got two youngsters out for the. Who do we have tonight, John? Is that some squirt players?
I'm taking a look and see if I can recognize them. It looks like we got some squirts out there, and they always enjoy coming out here and being with the big boys.
Yeah.
But you're absolutely right that Connor Clares, and here he comes, will get the start after Benny gave him a night off and played well last night.
Yeah, it's at the Burke brothers goalies at Park, which a lot of people, we've seen Clares in almost every game, but you got Benny and Will Burke, and Will only, I believe, a ninth grader as well. So
it's a family affair with the Burke family, not only in the youth, but their dad played for Alaska Fairbanks. In the Nets.
Gotcha. Oh, he did.
Yes, yeah.
Boy, talk about it. And then Mr. Clares obviously played at St. Thomas. So
I don't know what these parents are doing. There's Teddy Hopman coming out.
Yeah, you didn't have that call to have your kids going to goaltending. We've talked about that before.
Right.
So.
Bauer Newdecker coming out, starting as well.
And you saw Nicky Hames on D there, number 7. Relatively new switch back to defense for Nick, who had put in 6 points earlier in a decision that Terry Keesley made. So we're going to step away momentarily. Make sure you let your folks know we're live tonight on Channel 16 and on ParkTV.org on live streaming. So if you're watching this, let anybody know around the world if they'd like to watch. We are live here. All right, as a nice rendition of the national anthem. And if you're just joining us, it's live hockey on Friday evening, January 31st, as the Orioles lock up with the Achiever Academy Aces. That's AAA. AAA. We're right down the road from AAA as well. So if you need your car started later, perhaps the Achiever Academy staff will be providing that service. I'm not quite sure, but
right. Well, I think when the Aces, the Achievers Academy Aces, probably picked their name, there was probably some marketing thought behind the AAA.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So, AAA hockey.
AAA hockey, and they're probably playing off that. And obviously, their job as a school is not only to educate kids in high school in a different format, but to bring hockey players in, and that's what they're all about. So they've got a little marketing flair to them.
And like we mentioned, they've got players from all over. Ryan Finnegan, who was their leading scorer last year as a sophomore, is a kid that was from Kansas. There you take a look at their goaltender there, number 31, Sage Broda. Oh, they did switch. I believe Sage Broda was going to get the call, but that's Cameron Madrid, who did play last night. I was told Broda was going to get the call tonight, but they must have been happy with Madrid's work. Oh, we've got the little... So that's Cameron Madrid in net. He's also a junior with a .868 save percentage. And there you see the sophomore Connor Clares with an .895 save percentage, a nice .363 goals against, and 8 wins on the season. So we're about ready to block things out. I was going to mention, though, Finnegan, one of their players from Kansas, their leading scorer last year, just committed to Quinnipiac. So they are definitely a school that's trying to get kids and juniors and high-level hockey. Off the face-off win, the Orioles do control here. Once again, Orioles adorned in their orange and black. Claresy will stop it behind his own net. They're getting some help from Nicky Hames from his defense position. Offensive forecheck pressure by Zapata and Mix down there for Achiever, but the Orioles are able to break pressure and get it towards center ice. Puck is pushed around, and Bauer Newdecker on the forecheck, aggressively pursuing the puck into the Achiever zone. Pass right out front. Kurt Greenbush going to the backhand, fired on net, and a nice save by Madrid at that time.
That was a beautiful play by Bauer to get it out to Curdy Greenbush for a shot there.
Yeah, nice early pressure. And we mentioned Bauer had a couple yesterday. Kurtz obviously lit the lamp 11 times as well on the season as the leading scorer for the Orioles. And this is the senior. Greenbush going to go high off the plexiglass and just chip it to center as the O's will complete a partial change here. Second unit out for Achiever. This is Sanchez, Morgan, and Marsh. 3 juniors for them on their second line. Oh, and puck is taken away momentarily and kicks in off Clares' stick, but pushes into the corner where Marsh will pursue. Marsh with a drop pass over to Morgan. Morgan cycling the puck down low and will chase. Little stop and go move by TJ Rempher off the defense position. The Orioles able to push it to center ice. And they change their defense unit again. Charlie Hills with some defensive back check pressure that time. And Luka Savage with his size, the senior, able to push it behind his own net, and the Orioles will start the break. Little 3-on-3 here as the Orioles hit the blue line, and Borderwick going to fire it on net. Just pushed aside momentarily by Madrid. And behind the net, Halfin gets a stick on it for the Orioles. TJ Halfin with a good forecheck behind the net as he pursues with Stevens carrying it up for Achiever. Nothing materializes for the Aces as they try to break it out. We just began here at the Rec Center. 2 minutes in here, 15 minutes remaining in the first period. If you just joined us, Friday, January 31st, non-conference hockey. Rempher's pass will allow the Orioles to break the blue line and get it into the Achiever zone. Joey Kramer out front looking for some help. Fortmeyer with a wrist shot. Noah steps up, John, and pinches in and almost gets one himself there.
Just a hair wide, and he had a nice, he was going for the lower stick side, which would have been a beautiful shot if he would have just about another foot inside.
You mentioned the last couple years how quick his release is as well, too, and he's obviously someone who uses the body right there just to lay a little hip check on one of the players. Orioles will regroup in their own zone and break it out, unable to do so and get it out of their own zone, and here's Vanelli with some speed behind the Orioles zone here. Vanelli pushes it over to a line mate. This is Sprague. Corey Sprague getting some help, and the Achiever back to the point. Little one-time opportunity, fired on net, and a beautiful scrum in front, but a nice hold that time by Connor Clares, and I have no idea how he saw this shot, let alone didn't give up a rebound there.
Yeah, he did a nice job of not only stopping it, but then smothering it, and I tell you, they were in tight. They're going to crash the net, and I think the whole Orioles squad did a nice job of pushing them out without getting a penalty, letting them know that they're going to protect the goalie, but not going too far where they draw a 2-minute.
Martin and Parrish back on the defense, their first unit for Achiever here off the face-off. This is Morgan off the face-off for them. Newdecker pursuing in the corner, taken away by Nicky Owens, who stops behind his own net and going to regroup there. Greenbush back to Owens playing catch as it's whopped over to Hilsey behind his own net. Charlie going to regroup there again and get it to Nick Owens. Good forecheck pressure with some speed by the Aces, but Greenbush able to relieve it, and a nice job on a catch that time by Newdecker at center ice. Aces were able to regroup here and their defensive core changes, but Nicky Owens with some speed on the far side with a nice cross-rink pass, just misses the stick of Kurt Greenbush. Greenbush pursues with some speed in the own zone, and Stevens gonna get that. Oh, take away by Greeny, and he almost lights the lamp again there.
Goalie did a nice job of coming down and closing up the 5-hole.
That first unit for the Orioles has really pursued and put a lot of pucks in the net. Now that Hopman's center, playing up there with Newdecker and Greenbush, those three guys have combined, I think, for 26 goals now is what I have. And of course, Bauer only a freshman, Teddy just a junior, and Kurt been around a lot of years as a senior. So
yes. Looked like he went, Coach Kiesa went 1-2-1, 1-2-1, and now coming out with the Halfin line and the Lucas Savage line. So we'll see what happens here.
Yeah, and a lot of mixing and matching as you see out there. There's Borderwick and Lucas Savage out there. TJ also playing some defense. One of the things we had heard that he's kind of like Lou Nanny in his prime. We play a little right wing for the North Stars, and he plays some right D. So
right D, yeah.
They're moving him around, and he's another veteran presence for the Orioles. So,
and he's certainly got, he's got that lanky body and a wide stick, which allows him to be versatile.
And he's a great golfer, a great hand-eye coordination, and I know from his baseball days too. Off the face-off, 40 going to chip it high off the plexiglass and ring it on in for the Orioles, where Borderwick, the sophomore, will pursue on the forecheck. taken away by the Aces, and this is Martin who pushes it on up. Butler to his defensive partner, Stevens, over there. Stevens cranks it high off the plexiglass to center ice, where the Orioles are able to regroup. Little 2-on-3 situation for the Aces, but Charlie Hill says not so fast as he impedes the progress of one of the Achiever players. Bordewick kicks it out front, unfortunately goes right to the point. Oh, a redirect in front off of a harmless looking shot, John, from the point, but it did hit a stick and redirect, and Clarzy had to drop the pad down there.
That was a nice save.
Absolutely.
Hilsey's battling hard there.
You've got Will Mix over there, big 6'3", 200-pound frame, number 37 for them. As we mentioned, he had 4 assists last night. We're going to go to that first unit for them has combined, John, for, I believe, 21 goals for Sprague, 6 for Zapata, the 9th grader, and then Mix has 7, but Mix is, I'll tell you, talk about a nice stat for a winger. 7 goals and 19 assists. He's a very unselfish big winger, and I assume they would park him a lot in front of the net with that kind of size, but he obviously must have a lot of playmaking skills. Off the face-off win, Alec Gaitan out there with Charlie Hills, the sophomore, getting some ice time as well recently. Back to the point for Achiever. Wrist shot thrown on net that time by Parrish. Hits off part of, I think, the padding of players and goes behind the Oriole net. Some good early pressure for the Aces this time. Both teams, as we mentioned, played last night. Achiever down by Rochester had an 8-2 win. Orioles at home, so nobody's got an advantage in terms of tired legs. So that's kind of one thing that'll be interesting to see here tonight. What team has the most depth and speed of foot? So this is Morgan resetting his defense as he pushes it back to Zach Black back there, and that isn't an actual name for one of the Aces. Zach Black.
Zach Black.
I had to double check. He's a sophomore defender for them, so no relation to Jack Black, I don't think so. Oh, almost a takeaway that time by Mix, as we mentioned earlier there.
Nick Hames did a nice job of reading that coming up and recovering.
A possible 2-on-1, but nothing there on the pass out front, but it's going to be put back to the point where number 5 launches at Max Stevens, the junior, just misses the net. Real good puck movement and cycling by the Aces. You can see that they have spent a lot of time obviously practicing on a day-to-day basis, and a lot of these kids have come from different programs and forking over the coin to play at that private school. So little shot thrown on net that time by Stevens. We should mention that these are both Class A. These are both Class A schools. Achiever is in Section 4A, where last year they lost to Spring Lake Park in the playoffs in the first round. I'm assuming with the quality of opposition that, say, Totino brings, that, say, a Totino and Spring Lake Park might be the 1 or 2 seeds, but they certainly obviously have a chance to be a top 3 or 4 seed, I would think, depending on how they finish their season here. So
absolutely.
And the Orioles as well in Section 2A with Breck and Blake. Just a couple of weeks left in the regular season. So off the face-off, Achiever able to gain possession and keep it in the Orioles zone where they cycle the puck down low. Hopman on the back check for the Orioles does a nice job, able to knock the puck off the stick of Meyer there. Rattled around for the Aces again this time, and this is Martin at the point there, 23. Taken away by Teddy Hopman, who gives it to Greenbush. Greenbush enters the zone and just tries to put one on net, but has that momentarily stopped by one of the Aces blue liners. Little read. Go ahead, John.
I was going to say Bauer's really flying out there. He's on a back check now. We'll see what happens here. Nice save by Clarzy.
Boy, beautiful job that time by Connor as he has the Achiever player, and I didn't catch the number. It's kind of hard to see some of the numbers here. I think that was Sanchez, cut to the middle and had a great angle, but nice job by Connor again, the sophomore. Orioles are going to peel off their forward unit in a partial change this time as Achiever going to regroup here. This is 18 for them. Parrish passing it back to Martin. They're 1 and 2 defensemen. Martin and Parrish are a junior-senior combination there that are paired together. And here's another break for Achiever. 22 for them, right on in. And Sprague, their leading scorer, almost adds to his total. We mentioned Corey Sprague, number 22, the leading scorer for them. Mix on the forecheck as the Orioles again try to break it out. Nothing going there for Nick Owens as Orioles are able to get it chipped out though, and Lucas Savage does get a stick on it and able to rattle it all the way down. If you just joined us, not a lot of stoppages earlier on. We're 8:30 remaining in the first period, and we haven't had a chance to catch our breath, but here's TJ Halfin with a shot, follow on the redirect, and a nice job that time by Cameron Madrid to come out and cut that angle, because that
Yes.
was a good chance by, was that Luka Savage, I think, on the follow?
It was Luka or Bordwick. It was a great job for TJ to get control of that and fire. And he looked like he was going for the 5-hole. He did a nice job of putting in a spot where there would be a rebound, and the goalie came out and was able to. He was out too, so cut down the angle pretty well.
Yeah, really did a nice job on his recoveries, as you talked about, sliding over to cut that angle. Oh, shot thrown just wide of the net by Nicky Haynes that time from his blue line position, number 7. And Achiever going to try to push it out. Hamesy with a nice job on the hold that time. Orioles cycling on the near side. Puck thrown on net, and nice hands by TJ Halfin as he redirects. And then he exchanges some pleasantries behind the Aces net.
Yeah, a little bit of talking going on, and as you say, Frommer, they're not going to be exchanging any holiday cards. But you know, that was TJ got 2 nice shots that shift, so it was a very good shift for him. And there's nothing wrong with the goalie didn't just saved it. You never know if it's loose. Just a little tap to see if you can slide her in.
Yeah, absolutely. You see the some changes here for the Orioles here. You see number 14 here's Noah Woodboom. Obviously, we talked about him. He's been getting a lot more ice on the varsity. The junior going to center this unit here as Mitchell Hickerson, the senior, on one side. And then you're also going to see Joey Kramer. So a couple of seniors and the junior out there. Kramer with that big size, of course, played a lot of blue line before growing up. Nice pinch up by Fortmeyer here. Stepping up from his D position. Going to throw it out front, and it does hit a stick in corral. And Keenan Johnson, the 8th grader, takes it away and chips it all the way down. 25 for them, as we mentioned. Just an 8th grader pursues on the forecheck with some help. The 3rd unit out here, Vanelli and Meyer, joined them there as both teams matching their 3rd lines together against each other here, which is good to see. Little battle out front. Kramer able to get a stick on it and momentarily stop that opportunity as Hamesy going to break it out here. Little takeaway, and that's thrown in. Nice to see the line matching. That's something you and I have talked a lot about how coaches really got to be utilizing their assistant coaches and be constantly aware of what's going on with short shifting of other teams and making sure you don't get caught with your 3rd line against their 1st.
Yeah, certainly when you get to this level, there's strategy involved, and you know, especially when you're at home and you get last change.
Good point.
Yeah, you want to take advantage of that.
Good point. A lot of people, and John, I think a lot of fans that are maybe casual hockey fans don't understand that while wearing the home sweater tonight, the orange and black, that does give Coach Keasley a chance to throw that their last change out there and manipulate some things as he sees fit after these face-offs. So,
you know, and it's especially strategic late in a period. You got a minute left. You see they put their 3rd line out. You get the last shot. You can put your 1st line out, try to pop one before the end of a period. You can do some things that can certainly make a difference during a game.
And we've seen a lot of that with the games you and I've done over the years where, you know, different coaches are trying to work mismatches. Here, after face-off win, a nice job by one of the Aces players. I believe that was number 5, Stevens, pushes in from his left D spot and throws one right on net for Clarzy. So Clarzy got the call Tuesday night. I didn't get a chance to see another shot on net by Stevens. But the Orioles really battled back after a tough start against Totino. I know they were down 4-0 and got some things going in a nice, relatively close 5-3 margin. So I don't know if you talked to Terry after the game or Andy, but were they pleased how the last couple periods went?
Oh, absolutely. Tuesday? You know, I was at that game, and if we could have taken away the first 10 minutes of that game, it would have been a different story. But they didn't. The nice part about that game, Farmer, was they came back, continued to battle, continued to work hard, never gave up, and it ended up being a 5-3 loss. But it was when you're down 4-0 in the first period and you're able to come back and make a 5-3 game. It was a heck of a last 2 periods, and you just had a feeling in that 3rd period that we were very close to sending that thing to overtime.
Boy, and that's a team too. That's, you know, Totino probably the number 1 seed in Section 4 here, and that's a longtime nemesis of the Orioles in North Suburban play that we're going to lose competitively in the conference next year. But hopefully, you know, Mark Lohr is somebody I respect immensely, their head coach up there who's been there for 30 years, and you know, I know he always puts a good team together and is a really humble young man, or not young man.
Big hit by Luka Savage there.
Yeah, big contact out front by Luka as he puts Sanchez down on the ice that time. Taken away by the 2nd unit, thrown out front, and a nice redirect by Morgan. But one of the Oriole blue liners, I think that was Fortmeyer, got a stick on Sanchez momentarily there. Ooh! Oh, a really unfortunate chain of events that time. About 3 sets of skates and sticks that went through, and I don't think Connor got a read on that as that went through the 5-hole that time.
Yeah, it did. I think it had some eyes, and let's see the replay here.
Boom, boom,
Boom,
boom.
boom.
It went through. I think that it hit off of might have been Borderwick and another one of the Oriole players on a redirect. I did not get a chance to get a number on that, so we'll have to maybe Paulie at some point when we get
Here
another
it is
break.
again. Let's see it goes. Comes out, and let's see who it hits. Oh, I think we even may have went off Noah too. Yeah, and it may have went off two of our guys. So
Yeah,
just an unlucky, unfortunate situation there.
Good. I hit both of the seniors. Number 4 going to get, thank you, Paulie, for the good eyes. Victor Morgan, the junior, going to get credited for his 6th goal of the season. Yeah, he's a second-line center for them, number 4. So he, at the 5:45 mark, Achiever going to go up 1-0. Oh, a chance on a beautiful tic-tac-toe play out front. Nothing home that time as they tried to find Will Mix again in that first unit. It was a nice pass by Sprague. Orioles push it all the way down here at the 5:30 mark of period 1. If you just joined us, Friday Night Hockey non-conference here on January 31st, the Orioles and Achiever Academy, a private school based out of the Van Ness Heights Sports Center. Hilsey at center ice, able to get some help from his friends that time, as Hickerson able to kick it off the glass that time, and Hilsey going to push it down. Fortunately for him, nobody home, but the Orioles are most importantly able to finish their change on that sequence. Hickerson off the steal that time. Oh, and Bauer Neudecker again with a second opportunity. Apologize. Bauer with both chances again. Was that Curtis who made the initial steal? I looked down.
Yeah, they put some pressure on him, and they kind of coughed it up themselves, and Bauer was in a great spot, then just kind of worked 1D in and out and got around the D and took a beautiful shot. Great saver, best save of the game, because it was a glove. Now we got a rebound.
And then the rebound.
Yeah.
Boy, and that Major really, really comes out after the first shot opportunity. He literally takes a direct line to the shooter.
It's a style that we don't see.
You don't see a lot that much anymore.
No,
right?
and it's much more similar to my era.
Well, look at how good it served you.
Right.
Obviously,
not very well.
Little 3-on-2 for the Orioles as Greenbush tried to get it through some sticks and legs over to Neudecker, unable to do so. But at the 4:25 mark, that first unit for the Orioles matched up nicely here against the Marsh, Morgan, and Sanchez line. And there's Morgan and Sanchez pursuing on the forecheck for them. The Orioles are going to kick it all the way down.
Yeah, so Frommer, let's talk about that style a little bit. The goaltending.
That is really unusual.
In today's area, you don't see it a lot, where he's really challenging, and then even on the rebound, he's coming out and challenging very far. So what that means is, once the goaltender is down, then you got to penetrate the net and get around them, because there'll be room behind. But it makes it very difficult even on rebounds to shoot, because there's not a lot of net. So
on those shallow angles where he comes out on a shallow angle, you almost have to take that puck all the way behind the net.
Yes.
Because there's just a 2-on-1 opportunity here for Achiever. Fired on net, beautiful blockers or gloves. Bad save on Sprague that time by Clairsey, and nothing home on the rebound as Sprague out there with Mix. Back to the point, thrown back. Gunderson that time, back to the point again. This is Mix, back to the point again. Stevens throws it on net again this time, getting some help with Black on the pinch in that time. Mix gonna peel off and get some help as Achiever finishes a partial change. Possible 3-on-1 if the Orioles can hurry. Halfin with a nice catch. He's got Lucas Savage. Little drop pass to Bordewick, who chips it on net. Possible follow out that time by Lucas Savage. Jake gonna pass nicely over to Hilsey, who just dumps it wisely in the corner, and the Orioles able to cycle in a nice puck movement this time. Hilsey right on net. Nice job cycling that time. Bordewick, he's got Halfin right behind the net. He finds TJ. Nice catch. Back to Remper, unable to hold that time on a little wide pass, but a real nice sequence that time with some good puck movement and chances for the Orioles.
Absolutely. You got to love the flow. You got to love how the forwards were bringing it up high to the D.
Good catches.
Catches. D were taking shots on net. You like to see that.
Absolute little one-on-one opportunity here. Joey Kramer on the back check. Oh, a follow on the high wrister by Sanchez. Nicely done as Morgan found Sanchez on the drop pass that time. And again, here is Morgan just going to chip it, keep it in that time for the Aces and follow aggressively on a forecheck. I don't know if Nicky Owens got the number of that truck, but he got hit hard on that check, but he's up and at him right away here. Here's Hickerson getting another shift that time as Woodboom, Hickerson, and Kramer out there again. Orioles putting that third unit out, just getting enough with the 17-minute periods as we talked about. You got to get some help from your friends. Hickerson to Kramer. Oh, Joey with a nice wrist shot or snap shot. Gets it on net. Just 2 minutes remaining in the first stanza here. And the Orioles down 1-0 on a goal at the 6:15 mark as number 4, Victor Morgan, with the only goal of the first period so far for Achiever. Nice cycling behind the Oriole net that time by Sprague and Zapata. Orioles with a break as they try to find Greenbush on a catch, and Kurt has an angle here. Oh, but a nice job that time by Will Mix from behind.
That was a great back
the
check.
senior and senior battle that time, and those are two of the best players on each team. And that was nicely done. It was a beautiful catch by Kurt on the catch, though, to just have an opportunity there. Kurt, taken down from behind, and we're going to have the first power play of the game as Greenbush is going to get tripped from behind, and at the 1:21 mark, the Orioles are going to go on their first power play of the game. As you see, Greenbush 21 there, just tripped down. Definitely 2 minutes for tripping, and we'll see the number of that box car that heads to the sin bin, John.
Nobody wants to fess up.
You always love it when you as a coach, you don't want to see the guy drive right to the box right away.
Right.
I think that might have been Zapata.
So, yep.
Dante Zapata, one of the best names in hockey, going to get saddled, the 9th grader, with a penalty for tripping here at this 1:21 mark. Orioles with Luka Savage, Greenbush, Hilsey, Neudecker back there, moves back from his forward spot to defense, and then the other winger is going to be Teddy Hopman for the Orioles. Here is Neudecker, the freshman. Nice give and go with Luka Savage. Luka going to the back check, using that long reach just to gain possession. Works it back to the point where Neudecker, nice stop and go move. Neudecker with a wrister. High off the shoulder.
That was a nice save. And this is I've seen the last 2 games, and this power play has been very, very effective. Bauer back. Small and quick on D.
Well, he can get to everything, side to side.
Yes.
And even though you don't have a powerful slap shot from him, he's got a great snap, a great wrist shot.
Yes.
Gets rid of it quick and side to side, lateral speed, fantastic. And Hilsey can cover the ground too.
Yeah, absolutely. Great opportunity here for the Orioles to try this game up before the period with a power play.
Luka Savage is going to give it up. Going to hold it here as he tries to find Greenbush. Can't get it all the way through. Unfortunately for them, I think Jake just waited just a tad too late to give it up to Kurt here. Just 30 seconds remaining in the first period. As the Orioles try to get another break. Here's Hopman going to try to find Greenbush, and he does. But a nice step up that time by the blue liner, and Parrish able to take it away. And at his 6'4", 225-pound frame, Austin Parrish going to relieve some pressure that time as he gets it over to Morgan. Little check here hard on the near side as Bordewick and Morgan exchange pleasantries. And 5 seconds remaining, last chance of the period. Neudecker goes to the backhand, throws it on net, follow, and nothing there. But a great chance as the first period ends. Hope we have that on video.
That was a great move by Bauer, really end to end. And then he came through and he beat him right. Beautiful backhand, nice save by the goalie. Look at the goalie again, out far.
Very aggressive. There you see the traditional splits that he utilizes as well, which you don't often see either. And,
I know.
For Cameron Madrid, nice period. And for the Orioles, as the orange and black gonna wait just a second. Just one goal in the period we should mention for the Achiever. Victor Morgan with his 6th of the year at the 6:15 mark for the junior for Achiever. We'll try to get back to the official shots on goal. The Orioles are going to finish the period with a 40-second power play to start the second period. Before we break for Andy Neudecker.
Big change. They're bringing in Todd Dvorak, the Squirt A coach, to be interviewed.
Great. Well, maybe can I have you do the interview? Would you be okay with that?
Farmer, you call it.
Okay.
I'm happy to go either way.
We're going to run a video introducing what's going on in youth hockey here at St. Louis Park. Really wanted to spend a shout out to Doug Solomon, one of the Bantam B2 parents who taped a video that was filmed as the team went down to TCF Bank Stadium a couple weeks ago. Paul, if you'd be so kind, we're going to run that video, and then Todd Dvorak, the Squirt A parent, going to join us to talk about what's going on with the Squirt A. And I'll turn it over to the video, and then I'll give the headset to Todd.
Wonderful, Frommer. We'll see the video here of our youth program.
I feel all right. It's a Minnesota night. You got nothing left to show me but your smile. Stars so bright on this Minnesota night. Can we cut the conversation for a little while? Na 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 na.
opportunity for them.
Once in a lifetime.
Yeah.
Hopefully not.
Oh yeah, it was great. So that's another great reason we talk about these boys that have gathered around the booth here. Good to see all you guys. How are you, McCabe? God, it's good to have you. So Todd, you got some of your squad here, and they've had a great year so far. So you look at what the opportunity some of our boys had to do down at TCF Bank Stadium. Tell us a little bit about these guys. These guys recently had a tournament and some great success. I'm gonna have you turn towards the camera a little bit because you're better looking than me. Yeah, Todd the Bob they call him.
No, the boys have been playing well. This is my second year with the Squirt A's, and the boys have won quite a few games. We've done very well in our 3 tournaments, taking second in our last one in Owatonna, and consolation in one more, and third place in another one. So the boys have been doing well.
And I think one of the things that is very interesting that I don't think people realize at the Squirt A level that we've had, you've beat some very big schools. And when I mean big schools, tell about some of the success you've had about some of the traditional hockey powers that our Squirt A team has not only competed against but has beat.
Yep, we in our district play we've been able to beat Wayzata the last 2 years in a row. So we've also beaten the Minneapolis team, Orono. So we still have a little tough time with the Maple Groves and some of those really big ones, but the kids are doing really well.
Yeah, that's wonderful to hear because it's about a bunch of smaller community. And of course our numbers are going up in the youth, which is great to see people playing hockey in St. Louis Park. But at the same time, you're playing against communities that just naturally are much bigger. Right. And for the success that our Squirt program has had against them, it's just a nice thing to see.
It is, and it's going to be real interesting to see how they perform as they get older, become peewees and bantams, and then once they get to the high school. If things hold true, we should be able to play with the Wayzatas and the Minnetonkas and some of those bigger schools, and because right now at the youth we're able to skate with them and play with them, but
and a lot of that, and Todd, I'd like to know your opinion on that if you agree with that. A lot of that is the program has changed dramatically. There's more ice in the summer, there's more ice during the season, there's more off ice development, and there's more kids playing in St. Louis Park again. So the program is really on the rebound. So what's your thoughts that's kind of leading to the resurgence of St. Louis Park hockey, to the youth, to the community?
I think a lot of it has to do with, like you said, there has been a change. Before we were combined with the Minneapolis team, and we decided, 3-4 years ago to go it alone, which I think is a great plan. And it's starting to show, the kids in the past weren't playing on A-level teams, as many kids at the A-level, because we were mixed and matched with Minneapolis kids, but by going A and B and B2 right down the road, our kids are playing at levels that they're going to have to play at when they get to the high school level.
Yes, and that helps them be able to handle that speed and develop skills at that high speed level.
Absolutely, and I think not just by playing at the A levels and things like that, but I think a lot of the coaches have changed their way of doing practices, and the kids are getting a lot more repetition, a lot more individual skills at the younger levels, and hopefully it'll pay off 4 or 5 years from now.
Good. What do you got coming up next for the Squirt team? Tournament this weekend, or just some games, or are you pretty low key this weekend?
No, this weekend we play a big game against Mound Westonka on Saturday, and then I think we play Crow River or Hopkins coming up, but it's going to be, we're starting to wind down, and district playoffs will be coming around the corner before we know it.
Good. Well, before we take a break and give our camera people and our crew a little break, you can always go, anybody listening can go to stlouisparkhockey.org, slphockey.org. You can check out the youth schedule there, the St. Louis Park Hockey Association website. You can go, and it's great great way with this cold winter and all this snow to come down to a rec center. It's very comfortable in here. You can see a youth game, whether it's a squirt game, a squirt C, a squirt B, a squirt A, or a Bantam team or a Pee Wee team. You can come down and watch a great youth game and enjoy an afternoon and get out of the house a little bit.
Absolutely.
So, Todd, I really appreciate you coming by and filling us in. It's great to see the squirt success. Yep. Keep it going. Because,
try.
you know, the wins are all the players, the losses are on the coaches,
That's
you know.
right.
Yeah. Well, thanks for Park TV. We're going to take a short break and we'll be back shortly. Thank you, Todd.
Hi, I'm Lieutenant Colonel Nicole Malachowski, a U.S. Air Force Fighter Squadron Commander and the first woman pilot with the United States Air Force Aerial Demonstration Team. My fellow airmen and I know that each of us plays a huge part in our victories, whether in the air or on the ground. We couldn't accomplish our mission without using everyone's skills to reach our goals. Embracing our differences and working together is also what has made America strong. Thank you for your support, and remember, our strength lies in our diversity. This message brought to you by the United States Air Force.
All right, we are back here at the rec center as a first period goal, by Victor Morgan is all she wrote. Orioles are going to start the second stanza on the power play for 40 seconds. I'm John Fromm along with John Basil. We should mention on the year, I didn't really throw this out at the penalty, but Achiever killing at an 85% clip, and the Orioles are succeeding at a 21% clip. John, here we go for the second period.
We've got 35 seconds left in the power play. Hopefully we can get one right off the bat with the quick ice.
Behind the Oriole net this time is that power play unit for the Orioles, the same as we saw at the end of the first stanza, but a nice job on the forecheck that time by Sanchez for them, just harassing Teddy Hopman at center ice here. And that'll just about do it. Just 10 seconds remaining in the power play here. Is Hilsey going to go behind his own net, and Charlie centers it out to Greenbush. Kurt, little stop and go move at the blue line there. Tries to put it on Hilsey's stick. Unable to do so, and that'll bring Achiever back to full strength as Zapata hits the ice. Dante Zapata adorned in the number 6 there. It's really tough to make out some of the numbers with Achiever. One thing I would suggest, you know, if depending on what the fee structure is over there, is maybe change some of the concepts on the numbers.
I'm trying to figure out their jersey design and what it's got for numbers back there, but you're right, it is tough to read them.
My eyes aren't as good as they used to be. Off the face-off win, back to the point. Parrish going to push it in off of his right-handed shot. Little cycling going on below, but Lucas Savage going to start things the other way as he's got Holfin on the far side. Lucas Savage with speed, wrister. Oh, did it hit part of it?
I think maybe it just got kind of the knob and rolled up it, because it didn't look like it was going to go completely net right off the bat. So I think, let's see here if it caught that.
Another bit of iron for Luca. Tell you what, I don't know if Luca's ever thought about going in the mining business, but he should definitely be an iron worker.
Right, oh yeah, it is. I mean, and, you know, I started.
So many of them.
There's another one, and you look at what I saw last night with them, and we just are just that close. We're just on that pipe, but not inside it.
Yeah, so back to live action here. Hey, special shout out, fans, to a good friend of ours and a good fan of the Orioles down in Red Wing. I believe it's Tom Hills, watching live down here on Channel 16 on Go Park TV. Oh, and a bing bang bang play, and behind the net as for Achiever, they're going to score at the 15:32 mark. A tic-tac-toe play, and I believe that was that number 5 for them, Stevens, who had some help as well from 17. I don't have that number, I apologize, but unless it was Mix 37 and 22. Maybe that was Sprague who got another goal on the year. If it was 22, that's Sprague, Mix.
Looks like we had him covered. Feeds it out and hits the post, comes out.
And then he followed it.
Yeah.
Boy, so I believe that was Corey Sprague on the assist from Will Mix. So at the 15:35 mark, just what the doctor ordered for Achiever, but unfortunately for the Orioles, that'll put things at 2-0. He was pretty well guarded, but great hand-eye coordination to get a stick down on it, and then he followed his own.
Yeah, he had 2 people on him, and he was able to get stick on puck, so give him credit for battling through that.
Rep are going to hold in this time as the Orioles have that third unit out there, with Kramer getting some help from his friends on the offensive zone forecheck. Here's Black getting some help with Stevens as they try to ring it out of the zone. And Hilsey going to step up and just kick that forward to try to keep it in for St. Louis Park. He just joined us. A goal towards the end of the first period and one early in the second is all we've got so far for Achiever here on Friday night on 16. Hilsey behind his own net. He's got Remper back there to work with as a partner. Tries to work it up the far side. Hopman just going to get enough of a stick on it to at least get it to Kramer and get it out of the zone. Both teams battle at center ice this time, and Remper going to step up from his defense position. Has it momentarily whacked off his stick. But the Orioles still able to retain possession, and here is Mitchell Hickerson, the senior. Little change of possession as the Aces are able to do a 360 spin move, and Sprague going to throw it out front. Here's a follow on a shot again this time. That was, I believe, Zapata who got it over to Mix and Sprague out there.
Nice save by Clarsey there.
Yep.
Yep, and we just got caught out there a little long too after we had a little, there was kind of some indecision, which needed to be because the puck kept coming by the bench. Yeah. We were trying to make a change. You don't want too many men. So we got tied up a little long out there, but the boys did a nice job. Clarence did a nice job of taking a break there so we could get a line change. Good
speed and strength by Nick Hames, who just recently, as we mentioned, moved back from his center position to play some D. He's able to get it towards center ice. Neudecker has the, trying to do a nice job on the back check, but a nice job by Sprague, able to maneuver around an equally talented youngster in Bauer Neudecker. Here's Sprague again. And he just misses on the short side. Rings another ace player, rings it far around the side wall as Parrish not able to find anybody home there. That's Sprague. You can see why he rattled in 57 points as a 10th grader last year. And had a hat trick last night. Real shallow angle shot. Boy, that hit the crossbar. You see that?
Did it?
Yeah, that puck it did hit the crossbar. So the iron exchange is going on both sides here. So nice job by Sprague, and good to have our friend Borderwick wins the draw for the Orioles. Working it up the near wall, unable to break it out this time. Stolen away that time by Achiever, and a nice back check that time by Nicky Owens. Stopped a break for Victor Morgan. Another nice pinch up again by Parrish from his right defense position. Lucas Savage, taken out hard from behind by Parrish. No call on that. And a nice hustle play by Halfin, able to chip it all the way down.
Give TJ credit for there. He went down there and was trying to make something happen. Good effort.
Absolutely that time.
Well, could be no call.
Another follow, and here's Bordowick trying to seal off one of the Aces players, unable to do so. And that was Butler, who was able to just partially get it out, but the Orioles are able to retain possession at the 12:29 mark here in the second period. Back to the point, Hilsey tried to reach for that, did miss his stick. And it looks like Nicky Owens going to regroup and try to start the rush. A little partial change for the Aces here. Owens with some good speed, the junior, but does have to run into the skates, I believe, of the official. And a couple of the Orioles are really whacking back and forth against Sprague and Mix down there. Here is Sprague. Turnaround 360 attempt. Mix going to get the puck behind the net. Fights off a nice check attempt. Will Mix. And Hilsey able to regroup and bat it to his friend back there, Nicky Owens, who breaks it out for the Orioles. Good effort again that time by that Sprague and Mix combination out there. .11:30 remaining in the second stanza. Achiever going to finish their line changes. The Orioles also able to change their defensive core here in the second period. Nothing happening on the far side. Puck just harmlessly passed out front where Sprague going to take it and hand it off to Mix. Mix with some speed. Going to try to be pinched off by Fortmeyer. Fortmeyer going to ride him wide. A little backhand pass goes blindly in front of the net for Mix. Remper. Passed out front, little 2-on-2, and the Orioles just going to dump it and chase it as Kramer pursues from his right wing position. Hopman off the line change, hard off the glass. It hits the face mask of the goaltender, Madron, by Teddy Hopman. Taken away by Sprague again.
Joey Kramer was almost in the right spot for a rebound.
Yeah.
Very close.
Yeah, that hit off the face mask.
Yes.
We've had some crossbars, we've had some regular posts, and now we've had some face masks. Morgan with a partial takeaway that time, and Sanchez will pursue for Achiever. Neudecker with some speed, got to get an angle to try to accept a long ring pass, unable to do so. But Bauer, as he always does, goes full speed and crashes to the ice aggressively.
Yeah, Bauer's been playing not only full speed but physical.
Yeah. Oh,
for one of our smaller guys, he's been one of the more physical guys. With not big checks, just rubbing the guy out and getting a little hit.
His confidence just grows and grows and grows and grows during his 9th grade year, which understandably, you know, when you're not, physically as large as well too, but he's so darn shifty, kind of a lot like the Rooney kid for Cooper, where they're both so talented skill-wise. And Orioles win the face-off draw. Hilsey with a slap shot kicked off nicely by Madrid. Orioles, one of the Orioles players taken down hard. I believe it was Teddy Hopman, just ridden down. This was rodeo. There'd be riding points awarded at that exchange, I'll tell you.
Teddy Hopman's having a really good year, really developed well, making a big impact up front for the Orioles. Yeah,
and it's, we haven't mentioned it either, but the Orioles have been without Miles Malarkey for a little bit too with some of the changes, and he was a young man who contributed a lot last year and earlier.
Bauer again.
Bauer not able to break it in cleanly as Parrish and his partner Martins are going to take that away. Kurt Greenbush trying to use his baseball acumen to get a stick on that and almost have a breakaway. A little hand-eye coordination. Here's Hilsey with speed from his left D position. Charlie going to go through a set of 2 achiever players. Take it away. Far end this time. Border with an offensive zone forecheck. Here's Greenbush. He's got Neudecker out front. Backhand effort thrown on net, and Curtis not able to get a follow help by Bordewick there, and we're going to, and there's a slash right to the face, and 2 Orioles go crashing to the ice, and we're going to see if the whistle causes any penalties to be exchanged, but it looks like I believe we're going to have Curtis go into the box along with just coincidentals here. Curtis was cleanly, I don't know if we could follow that sequence again, Paulie, but Curtis, after the whistle blew, was definitely cross-checked straight from behind on that before he responded. If you watch right here, and then he gets a little upset, and then one of the, maybe it is just as well incidentals, but 2 Orioles went flying to the ice that time, as you saw Hainsey and Greeny hit the deck there.
So 5-on-5 with the coincidentals.
5-on-5 right out front, backhand attempt off the pass out front by Halfin. And here is Nick Owens with a little snap pass over to Bordewick. Patrick going to the backhand. Little 360 spin move, and he throws a beautiful shot on net. That was a beautiful shot by Bordewick.
It was.
He caught that in 360 and then snapped it right on net.
Too bad the net just came off just a little bit that caused the whistle. Otherwise, Halfin would have had a chance on a stop.
Yeah, we don't really see the full beauty of the Bordewick attempt there.
There it is. Now watch what happens there.
Yeah, look at, and if TJ could have even gotten it to Luca, it would have been a 15-foot chipper right at the net. So we're halfway home in the second period, 8:50 remaining in the second period. The Aces and Orioles, both teams, as we mentioned, played last night. Aces took the show on the road and bombarded Dodge County 8-2. They're 12-5-2 on the year. And they also, the only common opponent that I found the teams have had so far, Aces beat Minneapolis 4-0 in early December, and the Orioles lost 3-2 to Minneapolis earlier. So they also have a good win against St. Cloud Apollo, it looked like I saw, and they also lost 2-1 to Laverne, which has got to be one of the best stories in high school hockey again this year. 20-0-1 on the year, and they do have a few good wins over Apple Valley and Kennedy, so
they played some talent.
Yeah, it's nice to see for a small town in southwest Minnesota
where hockey's not normally the hotbed, and it's nice to see them do well.
It's a nice story, you bet.
Here we go.
Luca Savage with a breakaway. He's got Halfin. We'll see if Luca can finish here. Goes to the forehand backhand. And he's just written off it as he tried to chip and go high, but I don't know if Madrid got a piece of that or what happened. Little 3-on-1 this time as the Sprague-Zapata mix unit going to gain possession. Sprague with a chip pass. But it was a bouncing puck, and Zapata had a chance on a redirect. So
some good hand-to-hand action here.
Yeah, and here's, again, off the break this time, here's TJ Remper. He's going to gain possession from his defense position. Pass it out front. Just miss, and nobody home as Mitchell Hickerson does a nice job holding it in here. Hickerson, the senior, getting some help again. Noah Woodboom behind the net, also on the forecheck. And here is Nelson just going to chip it on up. Sanchez with Morgan. Here's Morgan. Nice job that time as Victor Morgan, I believe, robbed for him. His second goal of the game for the junior, as Connor Clare is able to drop that right pad down and make sure that Morgan couldn't go right to left on this opportunity here.
Yeah, and that was
second
great.
of the game.
Great speeds by, was it Morgan or Sanchez? Morgan?
I think it was Morgan trying for his second of the game,
what
number
great
4.
speed.
Yeah. Little change again here is Morgan on the draw for Achiever. Again, he's out there with Marsh and Sanchez as his wingers. Martin and Parrish on defense for them.
Orioles waiting for Noah. They're going to kick out the centerman. We were a little late on the defensive change there.
Off the faceoff win, Greenbush able to win it momentarily, taken away by Achiever, passed out front, nicely redirected by Claresy's stick, as otherwise they would have had a bing bang boom opportunity. Thrown on net, and that just caroms off the side of the net. 7 minutes remaining here in the second period. Passed out front, opportunity again by Morgan. It was a nice pass by Sanchez. Marsh also camped out front as Sanchez and Morgan work. Newdecker, a little chip pass to Greenbush, nicely done. Little partial breakaway from Curtis and a nice step up by Austin Parrish from his D position. And here is Parrish taking on Hills. Parrish goes to the forehand, holds on to it with one hand, nicely done. Little pass out front, but nobody home for the Aces. A lot of room to skate tonight. It's definitely not an ultra physical game. You know, so they are going to have a slash whistle, though. I think it's going to be a slash on one of the Oriole players. Possible breakaway here, and they just missed because Sanchez was open, and one of the Orioles are going to get saddled. I think it's a slash.
I think they're going to just call icing, and I think it was a delayed offside.
Oh, you're kidding. My bad. I thought I saw the two-hander. I thought
and it was kind of, I think, in retaliation for a hook on Bauer. Then we took a two-hand. They called neither of them.
Okay.
So I think that was no call, no harm, no foul, and they move ahead.
Move ahead as you see Terry Keesley joined behind the bench there by by Ethan Bond and Colin Holman, Neil Greenbush, also Kurt's brother on the staff for Terry.
I think that's Casey Plender, must have a little injury with his helmet on.
Corey Prague, possible breakaway angle for the Achiever Aces. But nice step up by Hillsy, able to stop that. Here's Bordewick, he's got a possible 2-on-1. Bordewick going to the backhand. Throws it out front, but nobody home as Morgan just going to take that away from his center spot. Good speed by Bordewick, the sophomore again. He's a heck of a good athlete for the Orioles. Sprague going to get a stick on that and just chip it to center ice here. Again from their D position, Stevens just going to play catch back there with Black. And Sprague going to rifle it all the way down where Lucas Savage going to redirect and turn things the other direction. Hamesy with a little 3-on-2 action for the Orioles. See if he holds it or just goes high off the plexiglass behind the net. Both teams battle on the far wall here. You've got Widboom and Lucas Savage battling against, looks like Sprague and Martin out there. Here's Sprague again, able to gain some ice, and I think he's going to be offside.
Yeah, we were lucky there because he lost it in his skates, and he doesn't lose it in his skates. So it's going to be a breakaway with his speed. And of course, he's got 33 points coming into this game, so he can score.
Yeah, he's right, exactly. They've actually got some good sides. They've got 18 Parrish, 6'4", 225. We've seen him, and then Mix, the first line right winger, 6'3", 205. So definitely some talented young men. Here's this is Morgan again for them. He's got one already. Throws it on net. Nice pad save as the Orioles, they were going to stop that, and a nice effort that time just to dump and chase it by Widboom, able to just relieve pressure and most importantly get it out to center ice. Morgan again, he's got Sanchez with him, and Morgan doesn't need any help as he rifles an absolute snipe wrist shot at the 4:35 mark, and that's his second goal of the game for the junior Victor Morgan, his 7th of the year. We'll have to see if we can follow on the replay here. I believe he received a pass, might have used the screen that time. I don't know if that was Rempfer or even Fortmeyer on the screen, but I don't think there was much any goaltender could have done between the combination of the screen and sniping it right underneath.
It was a beautiful shot.
It really was.
Of course, Clare's a little upset with himself, even though it was a beautiful shot just because he's a competitor. But it was a nice shot.
Yeah. Well, and Clarsey with 6'2" height, being more of a butterfly style, too. Even when he drops down like that, it's got to be just an absolutely perfect angle to get it over his shoulder like that. Oh, there was one that was thrown on net and redirected. Nobody home this time as Greenbush going to get it into the far zone here. We remind you to join us at the end of the second period here as St. Louis Park girls varsity head coach Donnie Williams here to talk about the last game of the season for your regular season for your daughters as well as the playoff possibility. So stick with us here on 16. Just under 4 minutes. Cheever going to gain possession again as it's rattled out to the point this time. Here again for the Aces, little effort out low, and Parrish not able to bit the puck all the way through, but he's getting some possibility, and a nice pass between the, nicely done that time
right.
by Sanchez, the junior, who went between his legs on the backhand pass. Parrish going to chip it again, and here's Morgan, almost receiving a pass as Morgan looking for a hat trick. Black going to just rifle it towards the net. And here's Newdeck, little 1-on-2 for Bauer. I'll see what he does. Uses the screen wisely. Not able to get the shot through, John, at the 3:10 mark.
No, but smart move. He had 1 against 2, kind of come across the middle, use the screen, try to put it one low.
Yeah.
They did a nice job of blocking it.
A nice steal that time by Lucas Savage. Orioles have had quite a few chances, even though they haven't been able to finish them all. And they've had a few posts, so plenty of game left. Orioles can get one before the end of the period. It's anybody's game. So Rempfer here, just going to dump it on in. Madrid, little chopper to Hopper, bounced up off the top of the pad there, and he's able to squeeze it and hold here.
Well, Frommer, I can tell you, I got to do a little shout out to Bill McMillan, longtime St. Louis Park resident, serves on the chair of Discover St. Louis Park. But his cousin Mike has been involved in USA Hockey.
I know that name.
Yes, for
Isn't
years
he
and
the
years.
executive director?
Yeah, executive director, and Bill, big hockey fan, and
Bill lives in
St. Louis Park. Yep,
okay.
I won't give his address, but he lives in one of the historic homes in St. Louis Park.
Maybe towards the central part of the city.
Central part, but yeah, he's a wonderful guy and enjoys hockey. And of course, nothing better than going live on ParkTV so people can enjoy a Friday night and see some local flavor here.
I tell you, that is one beautiful access, and I hope more and more people will utilize the live feed too as well. We want to have good attendance here always, but if you are outstate or you got those relatives living, as that puck almost inadvertently went off Hamesy's stick. Just a little over 2 minutes remaining. I believe
Penalty,
we're going to have a penalty on the Orioles.
On Cheever. So this will give us another opportunity. Now we had a penalty the last 2 minutes of the first period. And now we have another opportunity. We really need to bury one here with this power play unit. I'm sure Keys will come out. Coach Keys will come out with his #1 unit here, and we'll see if we can't get one. But it would be huge. As you said, we get that next. If we can go into the third period, 2 goals down, anything can happen. It'd be nice to get one right now.
Did not catch the number of that train, but it was in the corner that he harassed one of the Oriole players, and you do not do that in the rec center.
No.
This is the home of the Orioles.
Home of the
You're
Orioles.
going to get whistled if you do that. But just over 2 minutes remaining in the second period. Sprague going to take that puck away for the Aces and just try to hold it in the zone as he fights off a nice back check by Charlie Hills. Orioles with their same first unit out there with Lucas Savage, Hopman, Greenbush. A little action towards the blue line there, and a nice step up again by Achiever and able to stop things. They've always got Sprague out there killing. A lot of times they'll throw Morgan out there as well. Zapata out there right now. Parrish from his blue line spot. Sprague gonna harass Hilsey. Hilsey being checked hard off the puck this time. Parrish not able to win that for them as the Orioles with Hopman gonna play catch on the far side. Hopman back to the point. Newdecker going to move towards the middle, top of the umbrella this time. Lucas Savage, nothing there. Newdecker at the top, little one-time pass. Hits off the skate, unfortunately. It's Eddie Hopman and nothing home with 1:09 remaining and 1 minute remaining in the power play here.
Yeah, it was nice towards the end. We had some nice movement. We were able to control it. Early on in the power play, we were coming over, and we weren't taking the time to set it up. We were kind of going right down the gut trying to get one shot. When you got the 5-on-4, take your time, settle that puck, move it around, get them in the box formation, then get them to make a mistake and take advantage of it.
Good insight, John. That's John Basil on the color again, everybody. Long-time product of Edina Association, who's been a voice and a coach all the way up here in the Orioles system.
I've long forgot Edina. I'm an Oriole, Frommer.
I know.
Since 1991.
I'll have to stop saying that. I just remember those days. Nice wrister by Greedy. Yeah, it's been 23 years now.
Yeah.
And John still, what's anything new going on with the city, John, before?
There's a lot of things happening. There's always stuff going on in St. Louis Park. We're such a vibrant city and so many
Yeah.
good things, and just a lot happening throughout the community, not only business but redevelopment-wise. So we continue to be real healthy, which is great.
Good, good. All the hotel rooms are filled, and there's a backhand opportunity by Borderwick off the pass by Owens. Owens and Fortmeyer now out at the point, and that'll be shot all the way down here. Just 35 seconds remaining in the second period. If you just joined us, 2 second period goals have pushed the margin to 3-0. Achiever Academy, the Aces. Oh, beautiful move by Hamesy. Oh, wrister, and it was partially screened again, and another nice opportunity. And nice quality save again by Madrid. You can see maybe the reason they didn't decide to go with Broda, who had been doing a nice job in net with a .920 save percentage, is Madrid must have had a good game again last night. He saved 18 out of 20, and
must have played well.
Yeah,
he's out. He's on his balls of his, right on the balls of his feet. He's challenging.
Yeah,
he's controlling the rebound. He's doing a really nice job down there.
Just 12 seconds remaining in the period as Achiever going to break it towards center ice here. Orioles possibility for one more opportunity, but the Aces are back at full strength here. Just 3 seconds remaining, and that's going to do it for the second period here. And a couple of second period goals by Achiever, the second of the game to close the scoring by Victor Morgan, his second of the game, and then a goal earlier on in the second period by the leading scorer for Achiever, Corey Sprague, who received a pass from Will Mix on a one-time opportunity. And for Coach Claren and the Aces, we didn't mention, but Claren, 2009 Stout graduate who just in his second year with the Aces program, got to be pleased. This is their second game in 2 nights. And for Coach Keys, one more opportunity to have the Orioles rethink things through and stick with us here on 16. We're not going to step away as we'll be joined momentarily by Donnie Williams, the head girls coach here at St. Louis Park. And it looks like some of the girls players are actually going to support their head coach, as Donnie Williams going to join us here on 16. I believe we have Molly Arnson, and then is that Anna Basil over there, Elena Basil, and I apologize, I don't know your name, Superfan. I'm sorry, I don't recognize them all. And I don't know if we can get a shot. This is Donnie Williams, ladies and gentlemen, one of the longtime. Why did the girls leave as soon as you sat down, Coach?
Makeup might not be right.
That really was unusual. They were standing there trying to get the TV coverage, and then as soon as the head coach sits down, they're out of here.
Yeah.
I guess they're not lobbying for playing time tomorrow.
Well, they're going to get plenty of it, so.
Yeah, let's talk, Donnie. You and I have known each other for years, and I consider you a good friend. And Donnie's in his third year as the head high school girls coach here at Park. You're going to end your regular season tomorrow. I believe you're playing up with Spring Lake Park.
Yep.
You had some great success over the holidays in winning that Waseca tournament. And I know you've had a lot of really close, more competitive games since that tournament.
Yep.
Feel free to just use the forum and cover whatever you might want to discuss.
Oh, we have, they're Park kids. They work really hard. So we wish we had some more numbers, but we got kids with heart. We got some skill. We got solid goaltending, and kind of started slow this year.
Right.
But picked it up at the holiday. Went down and won a tournament. Won 3 games. It's tough to win 3 games in 3 days.
Right. Let alone when you don't have.
Right. And to show you how they work, we had almost 40 shots in every one of those games.
Yeah.
So they just went crazy, and we've had some tough games after that. But the kids are competing hard. They're playing hard, and that's what they do.
Right.
So it's been fun to coach them because they work so hard.
Right.
So we do finish. Tomorrow's our regular season end, and we go up to Spring Lake Park, play at Fogarty.
And that's 3 o'clock. We're live tonight, so if anybody wants to come up, that is at Fogarty, right?
That is at Fogarty, 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon.
Okay.
And that'll be our last regular season game, and then Sunday morning is a section seating.
Okay.
So we'll know when our first playoff game is by noon tomorrow.
Right.
So I get to go Sunday morning and sit with a bunch of coaches and talk about how their seasons went.
Sure.
And so we'll know who we play then. I'm guessing we're probably going to play Wednesday night at Parade.
Okay.
So
Wednesday night, and we'll make sure to let people on Channel 16 know the time of the game, and they can go to the gopark.org website to find the name, and we'll try to cover the game too if we possibly can.
That'd be great, but we got to. I think the way it's going to shake out, we have an opponent that we play very close games with every time we play them. I guess I shouldn't say who it is because I really don't know, but
I can say it's possible it'll be Holy Angels.
It's
and
possible.
That way yeah.
There you go.
It's likely.
It's very possible. And we play them very tough every time we play them. So we did a home and home with a couple of Wisconsin teams, or a Wisconsin team this year.
Milwaukee, you played last week?
Yeah,
or?
and Holy Angels, their coach called me on the off season and asked me if we'd like to do that. It would be very competitive, and it was very competitive.
Okay.
So, and we look for competitive games.
Right.
And we have, because of our conference, we get some teams that are, we play AA teams in conference.
Right.
And we get a couple of those teams that are just loaded.
Right.
And we just have to go and make the best of that in that situation.
Yeah, you've seen a lot of that Samantha Donovan from Irondale over the years, and boy, what a talented young. I saw she was up for Miss Hockey.
Yep.
And,
She's graduating this year. I wish her all the luck in the world. So
hope you don't see her again.
It won't be on our ice, so that's a good thing for us.
Yeah.
No, we see a lot of kids, and we see the best from every program, because we're in a strange situation. We don't have a JV.
Right.
So the kids that we have 17 kids.
Yep.
And they play their hearts out every night, and they get to play the best from every program.
Yeah.
So, and to compete the way they do it's just highly impressive. You can't do anything but take. If I had a hat, I'd take it off to them, because they do go hard.
And you've had some really good improvements in the program that not a lot of times. Sometimes you might see, people might look at just win-loss records and judge things solely that way. But boy, what a great effort in the last summer, in the last 2 years, to redo your whole locker room setup, and the volunteer labor and the fundraising, and your locker room setup has got to be as good as any girls hockey high school team in the state, practically.
When we came in 3 years ago with the guys that I came in with, all Park kids, by the way. So
feel free to talk about, throw their names out.
Jake Evers, Al Rabine, and Josh Swartout all played. Well, Jake didn't play. I'm not that old. Jake didn't play for me when I coached here, but Jake coached our Bantams and our JVs. Al and Josh played for me when I was with the boys, and they do a great job coaching the girls.
Right.
But when we came in, we knew we needed to change some things, not only on the ice, hopefully, but we had to change a culture. We had to change a belief system.
Yeah.
So we've tried to encourage them to believe that they can get things done, and we've gotten things done.
Right.
So the locker room was a big thing. We years ago, when the girls program started, they did like a makeshift locker room. Title IX came in, they had to have equal
spaces.
So they threw a bunch of concrete blocks up and painted it and called it a locker room, and the girls have been there, since. Tag board for lockers and stuff like that.
Right.
And a couple of years ago, when we came in, we needed something different. And there was a better space, and I talked to Jason at the rec center, and he said it was fine if we changed. We just had to do everything ourselves, and that was fine. But we got parents and parents companies to volunteer wood, and we had one of the parents is a carpenter, and he cut up locker stalls, and the parents got involved and stained it, and the girls had to do something. The girls had to come in and paint the locker room, because we're doing it for them, but they have to take accountability and ownership.
Well, and I'm sure you're great around the house. I'm sure your wife Bev loves a lot of things you do there.
Don't call her from her.
No, we won't go there. But no, if any of you young girls are thinking about trying hockey, or if you've been over here for any of the girls' games, or you're interested in coming in the fall, I'll tell you, if you ever get a chance to just poke your head in, you'll be so impressed. But when you get to high school, to be able to have a facility like that where the girls can leave their equipment, where they can go down the hallway to, I don't know what the shower situation is, right now, but we won't go there. But anyway,
right.
And from Catherine Evans to a lot of the young girls, you've got plenty of girls coming back next year. But great leadership you've had from Molly Arnson, your leading scorer, who's been with you for years, and Anna Basil, who's been with you for years. And I know I have been so impressed, besides them, who I've seen for years, I've just been so impressed how Peyton Staffney stepped up and played net for you this year, working with you with your goalie coaching background, but also with Josh Swartout.
Right.
She's just done a fantastic job, considering where I thought she was a year ago.
Right.
So
she came into the year. We needed everybody to be healthy coming into this year, and that's been one of the things we haven't been. We haven't been real. We've played games where, with 17 kids, we've played 4 games this year with 12 players.
No, hear that again, folks. If you want ice time,
there's plenty of it. And we want to encourage. Our youth program is doing a great job. We have kids at U10, and U8 and U6. We have a lot of kids there. We need to look for some kids who maybe played the game and stepped away from it. You know, a lot of people want kids, if they're soccer players, they want their kids to just stick with soccer. But, you know, soccer and hockey are great crossover sports. We'll take, you know, if anybody wants to come and enjoy what we're trying to do here and grow this program, would love to have kids come back and give it a shot. Specialization has its place, but I'm not sure that works in high school.
Well, and I really need to throw this out as a compliment towards Donnie and knowing him for years. But Donnie, for 14 years, was on Tim Donahue's staff with Paul Olson as primarily the head goalie coach, but he was also, you know, sometimes the assistant coaches have a good cop, bad cop routine where the head coach might have one angle, and Donnie was there to support a lot of the players and parents. But, you know, I just wanted to say that there's so much opportunity at Park to play 3 sports. I mean, my son played baseball, hockey, the same time, played a lot of soccer growing up. You got a good girls lacrosse program here at Park. Right. You got a great girls soccer program. Those are 2 perfect cross-training sports that you should come out in the winter and play hockey and try it. And I mean, if you can catch the lacrosse ball, ladies, I'm going to look at them. There's really no reason you don't come out. In this facility, the rec center, in my opinion, is one of the best facilities to play. It's right in the middle of the city. And, you know, although you'd have to deal with Donnie as the head coach.
We'll have a good time.
Yeah, we'll have a good time. But no, you're right, though. I mean, I think that's totally lost in the big schools. You know, the Eden Prairies or the Edinas or whatnot, where the kids are only playing one sport, and they're playing 11 months of the year.
And they're specializing in these sports. You know, I can tell you, I could list off and just rattle on kids who had an opportunity to specialize in one sport out of Park, but stayed and played the 3 sports and got that full high school experience. And they will tell you to this day that it's the greatest thing, the greatest decision they ever made. You know, and there is that full high school experience. You're with your friends. You're you know, and you can do crossover sports. And if you have a friend in one sport, you can play.
Yeah.
With, you know.
It's you know, I'm totally a believer in. We open enrolled our kids to come to Park, and Donnie's one of the reasons I was excited to do so, and other coaches. And the size of the school is such, you're getting great academics. I hope more young girls, if you're watching out there, how can they find out come springtime or summer about maybe opportunities to get on the ice or just try it out? Why don't you give? You know,
I can through the high school website, the athletic director site, gopark.org. Just click winter sports and girls hockey. Click coaches. There's access to me. You can get a hold of through the youth program here. I can be reached through the youth program here. You know, we can work anything we need to do to help kids come back to the game. You know, we need to grow this a little bigger in St. Louis Park. Hockey's a great sport. A lot of people worry about the cost. We can do things to kind of help with the cost.
Oh, boy, can you ever hear, like, you know, coming from the Cooper side of it, you know, we live in Crystal, and Armstrong Cooper doesn't have the relationship with the Bunnies to subsidize the pull tabs that you do here, and your fees are $200, $300, $400, if not more, less expensive, and you're so right. And so once again, go to the gopark.org site, click on girls hockey. That's the high school website. Donnie Williams is your head coach, and Donnie, we didn't really talk about and then also the association website is slpha.org. And then you've got a new girls coordinator. There's a new co-op program. We should mention, if you're relatively new to hockey or you're thinking about coming back, there's there's 2 8B teams, 1 10B, and a 12B. I found out that out of the 14 skaters on your 12B team, you've got 8 Park girls there. It's a Hopkins Park kind of co-op, but so there's a lot of girls that the kids will know too if you're in elementary school or even in junior high.
Absolutely. You know, and like I said, the youth program's doing a great job with the younger numbers. You know, we need to have some kids come back that love the game. Love the kids that they played the game with, because a lot of them are still here. You know, and you know, we want to grow the program. And it's tough. We're in a tough situation for girls hockey. Half the programs in high school hockey roughly are co-opted. So Park has valiantly tried to not co-opt their programs, their high school programs, and I think that's novel. And if we can get kids from Park to come back and play Park athletics, and hockey being one of them, what a great thing to just stay a community sport. or community
and,
school.
and to me that means so much, because I was really against Cooper combining with Armstrong at the youth site 10 years ago, and it caused the girls program to now merge with Armstrong 4 years ago. I think this might be the last year of the boys high school team, and to me that's anything that causes fewer and fewer high school opportunities to be available is a net negative to the whole high school experience. And it's not always about the wins and the losses, it's about the opportunities to have the memories. And please talk, you younger girls, talk to your friends that play lacrosse or soccer and say, hey, soccer's, even though soccer's part of the summertime opportunity, Donnie will have some ice in the summer, there'll be some fall chance. Just give it a whirl.
We're just putting together our summer ice package now, John, and as soon as that gets put together, that'll also go on the gopark.org website.
Right, okay.
So, and there will be the phone numbers to contact me or someone else that can get to me. Come out and skate.
Yeah.
Come out and skate. We just want you to come out, skate, have some fun, get back in the game. I mean,
there's so much open skating at the rec center. And then last thing too, and I'll tell you this, Donnie, before we got to go. So it's gopark.org, go on girls hockey, and then slpha.org, and then you can find out. You can click on that anytime you want to find out about the upcoming girls. If you want to watch the district playoffs.
Yep.
Well, what either girls teams or the boys, but and Donnie, what I'll ask Paul to do too is take this segment, if we can, Paulie, if you're listening, and maybe we can cut this into maybe a 10 or 12 minute program that we just kind of run sporadically on 16 and 14 during the spring or summer. You're taking the time to do this. I took the time to promote it, and I can't tell you it's going to do a ton, but just maybe the act that we can find some time to run that will get people thinking about coming back to girls hockey or just trying it. So.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate it. We need to do anything we can do. So it's a great program. It provides a great opportunity for kids. They have a great experience.
And I just want to say, Donnie works all day long, and this is Friday night, and we're almost at, almost 9 o'clock tonight. And I had asked him yesterday if he would mind coming on one of the intermissions, and I didn't have time to really put him on in the first intermission. So I kind of asked him. He got off the ice at 4:45 today. So he's hung around 4 hours just to do this 10, 15-minute interview. And I think that kind of shows you the commitment that you have and your fellow coaches to try to walk the walk. It's one thing to say, I want to do more as a coach or help out, but you took an extra 4 hours to just, and I mean that. I mean, we all volunteer doing different things, and we all want the best for our park school and our program, and so I just wanted to throw that out for parents that are wondering.
I appreciate it, John, but it is, let's keep this program going, let's make it vibrant, make it another opportunity for girls to have some success somewhere.
Right. Well, we're going to do more too on the youth side. We'll try to do more to promote. I can't always do so much to help with promoting the high school. I'll do the best I can, but we'll try to get sporadically some more youth girls coverage on what's going, and maybe that'll,
I'll see what I can do about feeding you some information on the high school girls, Farmer. How's that sound?
All right. Well, if you just joined us, we're going to hit to period 3 here. We didn't even talk about the game, but hopefully the Orioles can come back. But that's Donnie Williams, the head girls coach at Park. And again, if you're interested in finding out about open hockey, open skating, just coming back to hockey, go to gopark.org, click on girls hockey, or slpha.org, and I've done my service for the night, and so have you, Donnie.
John, thank you. Appreciate it.
Thanks again, buddy, and good luck to them. And I hope whatever draw you get, if it is Holy Angels, I know it'll be a really good game, and I hope we can figure out a way to cover it if it is Wednesday.
Right. Well, I'll let you know as soon as I find out, so I'll give you a call.
We might have to fight off Ewald about the boys basketball game, but that stuff's done months in advance.
No, that's fine.
Okay.
Thanks for everything.
Yep, good to see you. Yep. Say hi. If you see my lovely bride, tell her that I'm over here and I'm being well behaved.
Okay, I'll do that.
I'm going to step away for about 20 seconds. Just stick with us momentarily here on 16. All right, we're back underway here in the start of the third period. John Basil, John Fromm. If you just joined us, 3-0, just 30 seconds in here into the third stanza. Bays, what are you expecting out of Coach Keesley in terms of mixing things up with his forecheck, and/or do you think he's going to send that third forward in deep, or what are you thinking?
I think he's probably going to start spreading it out a little bit when we get control in our zone. Don't be surprised if a Bauer Newdecker breaks quickly to open ice and Curdy tries to feed one up, or vice versa.
Vice versa.
And try to pop one quickly to get us obviously get one quick.
Patrick with a nice follow there.
Oh, boy.
Well, and you were gone during that interview sequence, but I did have some thought that maybe you were going to rush on down to the locker room and perhaps use Anna and Elena's equipment and rush on out as a third period addition to the Oriole attack.
How's
it? I know you look in great shape.
Right,
I'm sure Sue's happy with everything around the house, I'm sure.
Right. Well, I stay in good shape because I do all the laundry and the dusting, and it keeps me on.
You're doing the
Oh boy, 5-hole by.
no.
It was a 2-on-1, and Clarsey was just anticipating just a little bit possible pass, and the kind of gave a little look like they were going to pass, came back 5-0. Nice play by 13 for the Aces.
All right, so that's Mark Sanchez. It's that nice 5-hole shot there. That was Mark Sanchez. That's his 11th goal of the year, and that's 3 goals for that second line for them.
Yeah, they're doing really well. And that's one that we just didn't want to give up in this period. We needed that first goal. So
yeah,
it's a tough tilt now for the Orioles, but I know they'll continue to work hard here.
All right, yep. So 15:40 remaining in the third stanza here. Gilsey going to break it up here. Victor Morgan tried to line up Charlie, but unable to do so here on the follow. We should mention what an interesting 3-game period for Achiever. Normally you're in a tournament, maybe 3 days over 3, in high school. They played in basically north of Rochester last night. They're playing at the Rec Center tonight, and then they play tomorrow afternoon at Ritter Arena. So 3 different venues, 3 games in a row for them. So off the face-off win for the Orioles. Good hustle that time. And indeed, that's Mitchell Hickerson out there with Joey Kramer and Noah Woodboom in that third unit out there for St. Louis Park. We'll see how they match here. Meyer out there along with, looks like Sprague and Zapata out there again. Sprague sure gets a lot of ice time with that unit. Sprague being held up nicely in the corner there. I think that was TJ Renfrew who held him up beautifully. Little one-time attempt to break it out. Unfortunately for the Orioles, nothing there. And Zapata just misses the net, and this is Mix behind the net and Zapata. Zapata, the freshman, nice diagonal cross-ice pass, thrown back towards the point, thrown off net by Stevens. The first unit, really, you can see that they're spending 4 hours a day together on the ice.
Yeah, they are. You
really can see that.
Yeah, they do. And again, Achievers Academy is basically
it's a hockey college.
It's a hockey. It's a high school designed to be playing hockey a lot during the school day. Instead of gym class, you have hockey class, and you're on that ice 4 hours a day, and you get a ton of ice time, and you can see the results.
Yeah, well, we should mention it's a really new concept for a school where mostly a lot of online classes, and then their classes are actually on the second floor of over in Bad Nest Heights, way in northeast over by White Bear Lake, where they're on the ice so much, and it's like $13,000, $14,000 a year. So, but
I'll trust you on that cost, and it's.
I'm sure most of it's ice related.
Ice related, yeah.
Can you imagine though?
Of course, I'm totally biased just because I look at our St. Louis Park School District and how good it is, and I just can't imagine choosing that option. And certainly different things. Every family has to look at different options, and it just surprises me a little bit. Here's Bauer. Oh boy.
Well, and I think too, what's interesting with hockey, especially with you got so many with the Alec Bear situation going to the Western League, Keegan Iverson, etc. More and more Minnesota kids maybe have chosen that. Not that many, but this whole concept is so new with this school, and I don't think for any other sport it would ever work in Minnesota because I don't think there'd ever be any reason
to do it.
Do that. And I think too what they're able to probably draw on is the kid from Iowa or the kid from Kansas who wants somewhat of a high school experience and doesn't maybe want to travel like a Kansas City AAU team or something, you know what I mean?
Right.
That might be who they're reaching out to. So
they're from people even from outstate, so it is a regional draw. There's no question about it. But there's something special here with you know, these guys playing together with the kids that they grew up with. And, you know,
Oh, yeah.
Todd Dvorak talked about that at the first intermission. You know, just a great interview. Good, you know, he's so involved and he gives so much time back, a
Right.
coach like that, but also says, hey, I want these kids playing together. I want Park kids playing together.
Nice save
And,
that time off the
you
spring,
know,
Mister.
and he knows that they're going to have the time of their life growing up,
Oh, totally.
going to school, getting a great education in St. Louis Park schools, and then having the opportunity to play together in high school, you know, and be in each other's weddings. And, you know, and as those numbers come back up each year, you'll see the competitiveness continue to go up, which is great. You know, now we're not in the same situation, unfortunately, as I got daughter. We don't quite have the numbers on the girls' side. We just
No.
haven't had that. We've got
Well,
a great girls coordinator with Holly now.
Yeah,
but
and the co-op seems to be doing good with the Hopkins Park. And
Yes.
Donnie and I were talking about how on the, forgive us, we're just kind of letting the action speak for itself. Donnie and I were talking about how on the girls' side, the 12B team has 8 Park girls on
Yeah.
it. The 10B only had 4.
Yes.
But, you know, hopefully that'll grow. And Donnie was really pleading and explaining how he wants to figure out a way to get more of the lacrosse girls and the girls soccer players to at least attempt to come out and try. And I know your girls have been advocates for their friends to try to do that, and hopefully that'll continue to grow. And hopefully, you know, Donnie knows that he has to make that commitment and has to step up with his coaches, and you've been a great help to doing what you can as well too. It's not an easy situation when you don't have the numbers for a JV.
No,
let alone, you know.
right, and they got you know, the one, and you know, where you got to give credit where credit's due, and not taking anything away from myself or the current coaching staff, but they got a great girls coordinator in Holly Nichols,
Yeah.
who's really bringing you know, she's really working hard. Little roughhousing there. She's really working hard, and for the first time has made a little bubble of kids that, you know, unfortunately they won't be to high school for a few years. But it's really thanks to her efforts, and
Right.
it's wonderful to see. And it takes that kind of hands-on
Right.
efforts, and she's really engaged in the youth, which is what the girls need.
Well, and I think too, you know, between publicity with magazines, newspapers, these broadcasts, you hope that those things ring true as well, where
Yeah.
I don't mean this negatively, but there's not a lot of the gymnastics meets we carry on 16 or some of those sports, and hopefully too that's kind of a part, as it looks like. I think that is that Joey Kramer.
Joey
who's
Kramer
gonna
got
get
a
saddled
rough, I think.
at 11-12 remaining here in the third. But yeah, so hopefully that'll will work. And yeah, I mean, I know I'm such a big advocate of 2 or 3 sports for these kids, and we got some youngsters, some hockey players behind us here joining us.
Yes.
So face-off win here for Achiever as they're going to go back on the power play for the 3rd time in the game here. Sprague, battles one of the Orioles to the ice, and there's a couple of players, Sprague and one of the Park players banging. I think that was, boy, a little mismatch perhaps. Oh, look at that. Sprague giving Bauer Newdeck a little pat on the behind. They battled hard, and Bauer was in his face confronting him, trying to ride him off the puck. Good opportunity as Max Stevens had a great wrist shot towards the net, number 5 from his right D spot here as he stepped up, but he fired it wide here. Here's Hilsey. He's got Greenbush with him as Charlie just going to throw it on down. You got Newdecker, Hills, looks like Hames and Greenbush out there for the Orioles. And the 8th grader, Keenan Johnson, number 25. I haven't called his number a lot, John, but he had 2 goals last night, this 8th grader for them here on the right wing. So Johnson and Sprague out there, and here's Sprague being harassed by Newdecker. A little drop pass again. Here is Morgan, who's got 2 on the night. Going to play a little give and go with Sprague. Sprague going to take it away, work it back as they play catch. A little give and go here. Sprague just going to follow. He goes crashing hard into the net, and really just an old-fashioned hockey play, give and go with the 2 guys down low.
You know, so far I really want to give a compliment to the Aces as far as their demeanor on the ice. They seem well coached, and even though there's been a little bit of roughhousing, nothing out of the ordinary. They seem to be, you know, I've seen some pats, I've seen some, they seem to have some class, which would, you know, obviously 10 minutes left, you never know what can happen in a hockey game.
And a
but
lot
they
of
seem
skill.
to have some skill and class.
Yeah, skill, but you know, not a cheap team.
That's exactly right. That's you put the word on it for you.
Yeah.
They're certainly not cheap. They're not. They play the game well. They play skilled. They're well coached. They move the puck well. So give them credit for having a classy organization right now.
Nice block that time by the Orioles as that hit off Lucas Savage. And, I think one thing, too, is they've had a pretty challenging schedule, and I'm sure after their experience last year, they had a really tough time getting games last year. They're going to play Kennedy pretty soon, and then, of course, the Orioles have Kennedy next Thursday.
Yeah.
So it'd be interesting. Boy, those are going to be, possible breakaway this time for Nicky Owens. Did he get it in?
No.
Oh, boy,
he's not happy with himself.
Man,
he hit the net all right, Farmer, but it was the net
outside of the net.
It was the net.
It's
the net up above the plexiglass. So I think he kind of scooped it, and so once in a while that puck gets caught.
Well, then his stick
hand
went up so fast.
Right. I think he just a little frustration because he had a little bit of room there, but it got kind of caught on his stick, and sometimes you shovel it and you're expecting it to come off. And
I know.
And he put her up into the upper deck.
It's not easy to confuse me either, so I get confused. Well, good effort by Nicky Owens here, and we're at the 9:05 mark of the third period here. As if you just joined us, this is Friday, January 31st. We're live, a little 2-on-1 opportunity this time for Achiever. Oh, a nice poke check that time by Connors. He's able to at least get it out towards the point this time. And Butler out there going to fire it behind the net. Sprague getting more ice time. He's got someone out front. Tough to get the puck off the stick of Corey Sprague that time. And that time Stevens as well tried to rip it down low. Nice catch this time by Hickerson, and he's ridden off the puck beautifully, but that time by Stevens again. A little give and go by the defensive core for Achiever. Really only playing, two. They spot that third line very erratically. What I've seen, they only really play 7 forwards. I haven't seen much of Vanilli or Donovan Meyer. And you can get by that if your guys are in great shape. And so here's Neudecker off the chop there, and Madrid, who hasn't seen anything go by him yet, pushes that into the corner here. Should mention too, if you're just joining us here, if you want to get a copy of the game today or any of the games we have on 16, we haven't had time to push that, but go to ParkTV.org. That's ParkTV.org if you want to buy a copy of this game. If you're an Achiever fan or a Park game, $10 a DVD if you buy 3 or more, or else you can also use that website to access the hundreds and hundreds of on-demand games through the YouTube channel and the old Vimeo work. Just everything under the sun is on there, and I don't have to tell you that, John, from your days with the city council and your work. I know your interview was on there still from last year on talking about Elena and the injury too.
I didn't see that, but it's great to have all this stuff on. It was interesting. You were talking about Achiever earlier, looking for games. The hockey world's not that big, and they did struggle getting games this year on both the boys and the girls side. Just people are kind of, okay, what's the concept, and do we want to put them on the schedule? And so they had a scramble, and I won't go as far as beg, but they had to beg some folks to get on,
Well, the nice thing is that irregardless of the concept or whether you like it, don't hate it, whatever, you're playing a quality opponent, and ultimately this is a good time of the year for Park to play another quality opponent, getting ready for the sections no matter what.
Exactly.
So, right. So, hard check that time, and a size disparity. It's Austin Parrish at 6'4", 2 1/4, just erased, and I mean erased Bauer Neudecker on the sideboards here. A very clean check, but probably a foot difference at least in height and 100 pounds, I'm guessing, in size. So
and I think
you can see it right here.
Just caught Bauer's
nice
flying, just got him off balance a little bit. Great camera work to get that
awesome.
on the inside board
Lauren,
from where
excellent.
the cameras are.
Yeah, I don't know who was on the second camera tonight. I forgot. Paulie. But it was Lauren. Kurt, I'm sorry. Not Kurt Greenbush. He's out on the ice. But Kurt, his intern's doing a nice job again for us. So
it's wonderful to have him.
So 6:30 remaining. Achiever going to try for the wraparound, and again they're going to. Sprague somehow got that stopped, or he missed the part of the net, but I think he had Connor completely beaten on that.
I don't know if we want to see that replay because my gut is telling me that went across the line and Connor's back leg kicked it out. But we'll take a look maybe if we get a whistle here.
Sprague was so quick, and there he is again. He's only 5'10". Nice follow that time, and I believe that was Zapata finishing. Don't know if you have that follow of that wraparound attempt.
Now watch the goal line and watch the back pad of Connor here.
Now here's Sprague. Look at both guys go for him.
And he looks like he comes right through the 5 hole. hits the back pad, hits there. Now that pad brings it out.
Oh, yeah, it wasn't. Because I was like, how could Connor get his pad
Right.
over that quick? That's like lightning fast. So, well, we deserve a break as a home team. So, nice bit of camera work again here, I'll tell you. And here's Joey Kramer. He's got an angle here. Let's see if Kramer can stuff it himself. Momentarily cut off at the pass. And Joey gonna finish not happy. He followed with a heavy shoulder that time as he followed. Nice tie up by Kramer on the defensive zone as he goes from offense to defense and does it nicely that time.
Right.
Little follow up here. Things getting a little bit chippy, a little anger there maybe on that sequence. Gonna have an icing whistle there, and I think 24 Butler, who was on the receiving end of the Kramer check on the sequence. Here's the follow on the stuff again. This is the kind of camera angle. Now watch it on the backside. But look at his left pad. He pulls that pad sideways, kind of that left pad. But good call, Paulie.
Good call. Bouncing right on the line, and Connor swings the pad over and keeps it out.
That's just the kind of high-def camera work you don't get on Channel 12 or a lot of these cable companies that are sponsored by other cities. But with the high-def cameras, good investment for the city right there.
Yes.
Curdy going to get that poke checked off his stick by Madred. Still looking for the shutout here with 5:15 remaining. Kurt going to be checked hard into the wall, and he's going to erase one of the players. I think we're just going to have a whistle here on a possible. That's a nice whistle there. Could have been an unsafe situation as Kurt had checked his man, and the man collapsed on the ice, and instead of trying to get them to battle for it, they're just going to move it to the face-off dot, and both teams are going to change here.
Yeah, that's a little bit of chippiness happened. I think it all started with the little hit on Bauer over here along the boards, and then I think Curdy took exception, took a big hit over here, and of course subsequently, Joey Kramer hit someone. So the Orioles, they're going to stand up for themselves, even though the score isn't going their way. They're going to battle hard.
Right, and and for Achiever and Coach Clare, and they've got another game at Ritter tomorrow. So the last thing, with only skating 7 forwards, the last thing they need is to lose anybody or get anybody injured. So their first unit back out there again against the Lucas Savage line, and again here's Zapata, number 6, 2-on-1, Sprague, backhand pass. Oh, hits off Hilsey's. Tried the old. That was the kind of the old showboat pass where you pass it behind your back. Yeah. You can do that when you're up several goals, right? Here's Hilsey with some speed, going to try to cut to the middle. Oh, just lost the angle to give it up to Luca. And again, there's Will Mix going to fire it down on Clarzy. Connor going to play that off to the side. Whoa! If it was bowling, Hilsey would have got the spare there as he went crashing off the goalpost.
Going to call the face-off inside because Hilsey's kind of saying, how about some interference, but no call.
Charlie not one to really bark at the official, but indeed he does. He's got the head down going for it, but the Achiever player with a little more speed.
Oh, kind of kicks his back leg out,
Charlie down.
Yeah, now I see why Charlie was saying a couple things to the referee.
And knowing the Hills family, Charlie with those older brothers, he's always had to fight for everything he gets at the dinner table, so he doesn't want to. He doesn't want to be on the receiving end of anything hard like that, right? Had a nice visit with Bill earlier about maybe getting a picture of all the Hills boys who played hockey in the case.
It's a wonderful story. St. Louis Park tradition for them, and
all the years Bill's helping the coach, and Grandpa with his vocal.
Yeah, and I met Hills early, in the association back in the 90s, and just his dedication. Used to run all the equipment room. I mean, he's just been around this rink religiously, and there's so many people that you can. Say that about in St. Louis Park, that you just look at the hours they put in here on a volunteer basis. It's just wonderful to see.
I think, too, one of the things that gets lost is this will be their last year probably officially with a kid in the program. And I think, I may be wrong, but I think it's been 12 or 13 years.
Straight.
So I hope in some ways we get to see, I think Jerry's been helping out Coach Jerry Hills.
Yeah.
And Mickey's going to graduate this year from the U. Here's Bauer on a possible break. Ooh. But I just wanted to say, you hope to see Billy and Grandpa still coming. I'll never forget Grandpa's voice as he cheers for the Orioles. And always thrilled with every official's call. Got a little momentary hooking minor that's going to be whistled on.
And I'm sure Bauer's going to make the argument that he was holding the stick, but it's hard to tell.
Yeah.
Hard to tell if it was a hook or if he held, once the hook got in there, did he grab a stick and hold on to it? Let's see here. Well, replay will tell us it's in there. Yeah, it's tough to tell.
Well, Johnny, as that's going to put with 2:57 remaining, that'll put the Orioles on the penalty kill for most of the remaining weeks of the game. Greenbush on top of the key. Nice step up that time by Charlie as he stepped up from his D position to try to get an angle. Nice step out. Oh boy, you almost saw a very unusual play.
Right.
As the goalie Madrid was way out of the net, he almost
Right.
gave up his shutout by turning the puck over to Teddy Hopman
Right.
with a wide open net. My son always was petrified about doing
Playing the
that
puck,
in those
yeah.
kind of plays, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a lot easier to play the puck behind the goal line for a tender.
Yeah.
You're at least a little safe,
Yeah.
You play it up front and, you're using a big paddle, and it just
Right.
doesn't have the zip that a forward stick has.
Oh,
ring the dinner bell.
Little iron again there, and Hillsy, nice job by Charlie Hill's going to corral that as he's taken down, at least ride it out with his right hand. So 1:05 remaining in the minor, 2:03 in the game. Johnny, I was going to comment one of the things. I was looking at some of the stats from last year, comparing last year's team to this year. And one of the challenges, for Terry, and I know I talked to him briefly, is you see almost the Teddy Hopman gift goal here.
Here it comes.
Look at that.
Puck was rolling
That
a
was
little
one
bit
of
up
my
the,
best ways to score here in the rec center when
Right.
I was growing up. I was good on those.
the open netters. Yeah.
I always lulled that goalie into a
Right.
full sense of security to come
Right.
out of the net and play the puck. But I was going to say, I think one of the challenges too, I was looking last year, the Orioles have had a tough time the last couple of years consistently putting a lot of goals in the net
Yeah,
offensively. But it seems like there's a lot more offensive opportunities this year, and there have been more goals scored as 55 into the season. And you mentioned all the pipes that Lucas Savage has hit and Greenbush.
Bushy,
And I'm sure I'm sure Terry's looking for ways to tweak things. So we're going to have another penalty whistled here on the Orioles.
Actually, I think it'll be on the Aces.
Oh, it is, okay.
Yeah, for a hit from behind, so they'll go 5 minutes, a 5 and a 10.
Oh, now what they want going into the just 1:23 remaining in the third here. I think that's going to be Morgan, who does have both the goals. Yep, it is Victor Morgan. Yeah. Probably not called before the Jablonski situation a few years ago, but he definitely, But yeah, so hopefully we can find a way to, because that's an enormous amount of pressure, not only on the goalies and the defense, but for a young goalie like Connor to know that he's almost got to be, perfect.
Right.
He was for that Orono and
yes,
Delano
he
game,
has been a
but
couple times.
those were, games he were dramatically outshot. So.
Right, he's certainly has stolen a couple games.
Yeah.
But, when you look, no doubt about it, when you look at the statistics, it's nice to see a few more goals. It's nice to see at least that's starting. It's going in the right direction if you were to graph it.
Well, and with your Bantam 8 kids coming up and Bauer coming back offensively as your #1 leading scorer.
Yes.
Borderwick hasn't scored a lot, but he's really got a lot of creative offensive moves, I think, as a 10th grader.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, of course, Teddy will be back next year. And
we lose.
And Hamesy will be back. And you lose a lot on the blue line.
You lose a lot on the blue line, there's no question. Oh, these seniors are no doubt a big part. But on the flip side of it, when you talk about the statistics, you can't, it's easy to lose sight of right now. But with the Orioles, we're certainly we've doubled the wins from last year.
Right.
So you can't. You got to look at that too and say, hey, that's nice to see them pull. Last year they had, I think, 4 or 5 wins. They're at 8 wins and 1 tie here.
Right.
So it's nice. It shows that even incrementally, just a little more goal scoring can make a difference.
Right, exactly. And and I think as you mentioned in previous records, you've had a long string from Sword out to Mark Rice, et cetera,
Oh my God.
a lot of good goaltending through the years that Connor's continuing.
I saw Ryan Nichols came by the rink last night.
Oh, did he?
Yes.
That must have been nice.
Obviously, and
what a
your
great
son,
kid he is.
Ryan.
He's having a great soccer career.
Yeah.
He really is.
Yeah. No, it's just so fun to see. But St. Louis Park has always been blessed with excellent goaltending. Just has been. And
you were a big help to my son, and Donnie for sure was. That's going to put it the closing touches on a 4-0 Achiever win tonight. And for Cameron Madrid and the Aces, they're going to pull out their 13th win of the season before they take the show on the road tomorrow. For the Orioles, a couple days off before they regroup For St. Louis Park, a good effort. I didn't hear the official shots on goal fully for the game, but for the Orioles, we've got 2 more home games that we're going to bring with you here on Park 16. The last 2 home games of the year, I want to make a shout out. Thursday, February 6th. Thursday, February 13th. February 6th, going to be a real tough game. Kennedy, who I don't know if you saw, beat Jefferson last week, 2-1, first time in 9 years they beat Jefferson. And then they beat Apple Valley the game before that, and then they tied Lakeville South.
Wow.
So they're playing really, and that's nice to know because they're going to be a conference opponent next year.
Yes.
Which I'm kind of glad to see Kennedy doing better.
Me too.
You know, as you and I remember back in the early 80s, they were in the tournament your senior year.
Absolutely.
87, they won the state
tournament.
As a changing demographic. So that's a program that Park should really look for as a good comparison too. Similar sizes, challenges, but. It's actually 4-0 as your final tonight, and we're going to be with you, I believe, next Wednesday and Thursday on Park 16. And stick with us. If you want to get a copy of this game or get an update on all the schedules, go to ParkTV.org. ParkTV.org. If you want to buy a DVD of the game, and you can also wanted to throw a shout out, John. We didn't mention this, but with all the bad weather the last 2 weeks, if anybody wants an update on the new conference games, like the Mound game got canceled, go to nsconference.org. nsconference.org. You can check to see what the new times of JV games are, or girls and boys basketball, etc.
It's been a heck for the athletic directors and the coaches because of the cold weather. When they cancel school, of course, even the games at night then don't play, and so there's games that need to be rescheduled with winter sports, and it's causing a little havoc for all the teams, all the coaches, and all the school administrators. But they've got to squeeze them in before, obviously, sections are set to go. So there's a lot of work to be done to get all these games in.
Well, I just wanted to say big shout out to Paulie and our crew here with 16 tonight. We're going to step away for the evening, but if you have anything further, give Paulie a call. Otherwise, this is John Fromm along with John Basil saying good night from the Rec Center, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Frommer.